Welcome to the Midday Show. I'm Cheryl Blackwell, and joining me here on set, we've got Mark Bertoli from Abbott Wealth Management. Welcome to the show.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
We got a lot to talk about today, and we're going to start off with talking cars and why cars are important to our economy.
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting. I do this about quarterly just to kind of touch base on things, and I've talked to some, had a great chat with Anthony Mazzillo the other day about how things are going with them, and just try and keep up on things. So, 1 in 7 jobs in Canada is somehow related to the auto industry.
Really?
So it is such a huge part of our economy. 120,000 jobs directly and over 350,000 jobs related to the industry through shipping and manufacturing, support services and manufacturing and all that. So pretty very significant to our economy. So it's why we keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Okay.
So how are we doing?
Well, let's bring up the first slide. And this is annualized sales going back to 2009. You can see it was just under $1 million or 1 million units back in 2009. And 2016, we came through 13, 14, and 15 with record years. And everyone said, okay, this is going to end. Well, here we are. We're on an annualized rate or pace right now, about 1.334 million units, up 3.7% from 2015. So it looks like we're in line for another record year this year. So that looks, that's really good. So then I started to look around at some other statistics, and maybe we can bring up the next slide there. Year to date, we had, Ford's, their new truck series has done very well, and that's done very well for them. GM, Honda's up a little bit. Toyota's up a little bit so far this year. What's interesting, and I picked this one out the bottom, Jaguar's up 88% year to date.
There's been 2 bought now this year?
Yeah, well, it's a very small number, but statistically it's significant. But they've moved into a very significant arena, and that's the SUV. So if you look on the next auto type, if we go back one, I think it was 40, or light trucks are up 11%, where passenger cars are up or negative 7%. So the shift is to trucks and SUVs in Canada here. And that's where Jaguar, they've introduced an SUV.
Okay.
So that's probably why.
They're appealing to Canadians.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if we go on to the global markets, interesting. North America, 21 million this year. What's interesting and very significant, Western Europe, 13.9 million, up 7.7%, best auto year in 20 years. China is at double-digit growth of 10% when Canada was at 3.7. Only 30% of people in major cities own cars. 7% in large cities own cars, and yet they're selling 22.4 million cars a year.
That's a lot.
So, yeah, really something. And that's, if you think about that, it's very significant. GM, for instance, their Cadillac sales in China are a huge success story, and they continue to develop cars, and there's some very unique autos. China did a sales tax reduction in certain cars this year to stimulate the economy. The auto industry is a big industry around the world, and there's a lot of countries that are emerging middle class, and you fully expect manufacturing here in Canada to be strong in years to come. So.
Okay, so some good news.
That's the auto industry.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
We have to talk a little bit about your changed look.
My changed look,
Your changed look. So if you're going and looking at Mark and going, he looks different from the last time I saw him, it's because you did something very special. So let's talk about that.
Well, cancer's touched my life this year. Lost my mom in December, my uncle just recently, and we have some good friends and some clients. The beauty of this career is that we get to form great relationships, and sometimes you can't shut that off when you go home.
That's very true.
And so I just thought that I would spend a little bit of time and show some support. Tim, a good friend of mine and client, Kelly, another one, and we have a number of families that cancer is touching their lives at Abbott Wealth Management. So I thought a lot about this, and it's just my way of letting them know that we care, and it's our way to try and support them somehow.
You're in their corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great, and it's coming back in nice too.
Yeah, I guess so. That's what everyone's. What if it doesn't come back? I said, well.
You're like, I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, it was interesting. I did this 8 years ago with a lady by the name of Christine Louison and Leslie Thompson. And I just saw Christine on the weekend, and it's been 8 years, and both of them are clear of cancer. So maybe I'm a good luck charm,
I
as
like
you
that.
said. Yeah.
A little bit of good luck. It's all
Yeah.
good. All right,
Yeah.
Mark, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment here on Midday.